Hello everyone, it's Eerie here, and today we're going to create this design in Render. So we're going to use these assets that you see here. So let us begin. We're going to use some couple of things here that I wrote: a cube, a curve object, a subdivided sphere, and a humanoid creeper, which can be found in abstract humanoid collection. So check it out. And so we're going to start working on our artwork here. I'm just going to grab some few assets on the center here. This cube here should be at the center, and I'm going to scale that one up. Obviously you can do this by position the cursor to the center and shift S selection to cursor, so that will be positioned at the center, and then you can continue from there. Now the technique that I would like to use here is to select my face here on the bottom and position the cursor there, and then I'm going to position my 3D cursor to that position so that I can scale without affecting my translation on the cube here. I'm going to create a loop cut, and then I'm going to Ctrl B to bevel that loop cut to create a bunch of faces. So then I can dissolve these top edges here that I don't need them, and I'm just going to select the faces here on the front, press Y to separate, and then select the middle one and delete that face. Let's add the camera to our scene. Shift A, add the camera, and then position the camera to the view by pressing Ctrl Alt 0. And now we have a camera inside our viewport here, and make sure you lock that camera to view so we don't affect its translation. And now we can zoom in and out. Yeah, so we're gonna create light to our scene by using that plane. I'm going to use the plane as an emission object. Place that in front of the opening, create a new material. An emission shader should be assigned to the surface shader, and now we have light. I'm just going to scale the room a little bit. I also find it more convincing if we reduce the intensity of the light by increasing the size of the room. Let's add material to our meshes. I'm going to add the neutral black material. The floor should use a different kind of material, so I'm thinking of creating a new slot. At this point, actually, it's your own creativity which should come into play, and I'm just going to use these spheres to the opening, and then I'm going to use the curve path to add more objects of interest to our scene. In this case, I'm just going to position them in this manner. Like I said, this point is just based on your own creativity, so have at it. I'm going to create a roughness map for the floor here. This method I use in other tutorials, you can check them out. I have a detailed explanation on how to create a roughness map for the floor here. So this scene will be available for download. The link will be down below in the description. So at this point, it's also important to use volume to add ambience to our scene. I use a cube, and then I'm going to transform that cube to the volume object, and then make sure that cube is encasing all your scene, so all your lighting should be inside the cube. And I'm going to create a new material for that cube, and this is going to be a volume material, so make sure you use the principled volume shader instead of using a principled BDSF shader or whatever. So we're gonna get rid of that default shader, and we're gonna plug in the principled volume shader, and then we're gonna assign that volume output to the volume input, which is gonna be darker. So we're gonna use the density to control the intensity of that volume object. You can play with the color of your volume space, so it all depends on what you want, but make sure the light source has enough power to actually pierce through the intense volume space. So yeah, we can use 0.01 for the density. That works well for my particular case. I might have to lower the strength of the light here, so I'm not going to overdo this. Just find a few tricks here and there, and then you're ready for rendering. So at this point, you should have all your render settings checked out, and all your resolution and everything, and just hit it. That's gonna be it for this tutorial. Peace out.